Nice to meet you.
Kurtis goes undercover, investigating an invisible danger, faulty windshield installations.
Kurtis Ming goes undercover and exposes a threat that could put you in jeopardy every time you climb into a vehicle.
Yeah, scary stuff we're finding out. A windshield is not just a shield from the wind. It's a structural panel of the car supposed to stay attached to your car in an accident. An industry expert tells me 85% of windshields he sees are not installed properly, and you're about to find out what can happen. It's the see-through barrier we all peer through.
Such an important part of the car.
Meant to protect you from the elements and the road.
I don't know where the person is, but there's a shoe in the middle of the road.
But if installed incorrectly,
I don't see a passenger.
your windshield could end your life.
It's pretty bad.
Those 911 calls after Jeannie Franzway's crash. Thrown 70 feet from her car, her body was discovered lying in a field on top of her windshield.
She was laying face down, and so her body was all cut up and slashed everywhere just from all the shards from the windshield. That's her car.
Jeannie's brother John says the glass wasn't properly bonded to the car, causing it to pop off. Jeannie died at the hospital in the arms of family.
Just something that you really never really want to experience.
Investigator Dan Povey
This is our undercover lab.
with California's Bureau of Automotive Repair says some companies are sloppy. He shows us improperly installed windshields he's taken into evidence, like this one that didn't have enough glue, and this one the installer didn't set correctly. 4 days after installation on this truck, watch an investigator slam the door shut. The windshield pops out.
Unbelievable.
Then the investigator easily pushes the entire window out from its frame.
This is crazy. Nothing could come out on you just driving down the freeway.
And we've learned anybody can become a windshield installer. No special training required. All you have to do is pay the state of California $200 a year to register. It raises the question, how would any of us know if our windshield was installed correctly?
The only way for you to determine whether or not a windshield is truly installed properly is to remove it.
Although a water leak tipped off Laura Overbay. She drove us through the car wash to prove Mike's Mobile Glass of Sacramento did a poor job installing her windshield.
I'm really pissed off.
Dozens of others have complained about this company's shoddy work to the Better Business Bureau, including one customer who said now their newly installed windshield leaks rainwater real bad, and another who said air was coming through a gap in the windshield and the windshield was shaking. So we went undercover.
Nice to meet you.
Hiring Mike's Mobile Glass to replace a windshield on this SUV. From all angles, we're recording his every move to play for industry expert Bob Baranek.
It's a dangerous installation.
Baranek sees serious problems, from improper priming and preparing of the glass, right down to Tony, the installer, not using gloves. He says the oil from his hands could keep the glue from properly bonding. But one of his bigger concerns, watch carefully as Tony applies the adhesive.
Right there. See it?
There is a 2-inch break in the glue.
And I don't understand why he didn't see it.
Sure enough, when we pull off the glass, you could see where the glue is missing.
There's absolutely no glue.
I would not let anyone drive that car.
We've learned Mike's Mobile Glass has not had a state license since July.
How's it going?
So we wanted to find out what's going on and find this friendly installer, EC, at the company's El Camino Avenue office.
We had a windshield installed on this vehicle, and there's some serious concerns with the workmanship that we're told could put our lives at risk.
Wow.
Despite wearing a Mike's Mobile Glass shirt, he claims he works for a different company called Tint Time.
I mean, it does say Mike's Mobile Glass, so
Yeah.
lead me to believe that
No.
Tint Time is associated with Mike's Mobile Glass.
No, they're not, actually.
They're not?
No.
But he doesn't have the required state registration for whichever company he works for.
Do you have one?
No, I don't know.
Because you got to be registered with Bureau of Automotive Repair.
He admits he's heard complaints about Mike's Mobile Glass and Tony, who installed our windshield.
What types of complaints have you heard?
Just the leaks. Leaks, that's all I've been repairing is leaks.
We asked him to have Tony or the owner call us, but they never did. John Franzway's family knows firsthand what can happen with a faulty installation.
It was difficult to let her go.
After Jeannie's death, he pushed for industry standards, now followed by 10,000 windshield installers across the country. He hopes his efforts to honor his 25-year-old sister will save a life.
I think it's really given her life a lot of meaning.
And you can find out who's certified to follow those industry standards in your neighborhood at cbssacramento.com. We've got a link to safewindshields.org, which you could search. Since our undercover investigation, we've learned a bit more about our installer. That guy right there who said his name is Tony, 3 different sources tell us his name is not Tony. We're told his real name is Mohammed, and he's the owner of Mike's Mobile Glass, who also goes by Mike, Tony, George. We're told he uses different names depending on who he is talking to. And as for EC, the guy wearing the Mike's Mobile Glass shirt, he told us he worked for a company called Tint Time. Well, we found out today Tint Time does exist, but does not do windshield installations. The owner told us today EC has never worked for him.
These complaints are really incredible. I mean, is anybody looking into any of this, Kurtis?
We have reason to believe that the state of California is investigating right now.
And that car owner that you had that had a leaky windshield, you were able to help her. What are the red flags should people be looking for?
If you are driving down the road and water is leaking, you hear wind noise or there's vibrations, those are red flags. You might have a problem with your windshield and you should bring it in and get it checked out.
And the really scary thing is the windshield just popping out.
Yeah.
I mean, what does cause that? Do you know?
It could happen from crash impact. It could pop off. The other thing is the passenger side airbag. It's designed to shoot up and hit the windshield and then come toward you. Now, if you have a gap in the bonding, the airbag goes up, the windshield goes out. You then don't have the airbag protection, and you fly out the front of your car.
My goodness.
We just don't think about this as being so structurally important.
It is. It's a key part of your car, and you really need to make sure you're hiring somebody who's going to do a good job, because otherwise your family could be at risk.
Interesting investigation, Kurtis.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. If you've had a faulty installation, let me know about it. Go to our website, cbssacramento.com, and fill out our form.